guest today, his talent transcends cultures, genres, all boxes. He's a very talented composer, musician, and we're about to chat with him. Welcome, Ronald Hinkson. Big up, man. How are you
Thanks,
doing?
Richard. Thanks for talking to me, man. Thanks.
It's wonderful to have you, man. I mean, listen, you're musical royalty, whether you like it or not. But, you know, what we love about you is your humility and certainly your love for country.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think I realize I'm gifted, and I realize that God has never given me this gift to become arrogant. And He's given it to me to share with the world. And that's what I do. I think I'm blessed to be able to live up the thing I like to do most in my life.
Fantastic.
And one does not get arrogant about that.
Right. And your mother really helped you to nurture that gift, right?
Absolutely.
She's also an accomplished...
My mother played guitar and she taught me to play. And ironically, my dad, during the Second World War, there was a contingent of the British Army in the Caribbean called the West Indian Regiment. And my dad was part of that.
Wow.
And my dad played in the army band and played the clarinet. Yes. So I had music on both sides of my family. So I didn't find music, music found me, man.
Yeah. So your career began with the Tru-Tones and 2 decades of that?
Maybe 3, man. Actually, I started Tru-Tones when I was at school. And I had a very interesting upbringing as a kid on this island. Because I started at school, I used to get booked to go to St. Vincent, for instance, to perform, or Barbados on the weekend.
While you were in school?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had to get permission from the Presentation Brothers, who ran St. Mary's Cottage where I went to school, to go to off the island to go and perform, because I might have to get back to school late on Monday morning, because Monday may be a holiday in St. Vincent. So here's what, man, this is very interesting. These guys would charter a plane to get me to St. Vincent after school in the afternoon, because the regular flight may have gone.
Right.
So Monday is a holiday in St. Vincent, it's not a holiday in St. Lucia. So I'd go to St. Vincent with my homework, my books and my guitar.
Wow.
To go to St. Vincent, perform Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the plane would bring me back to go to school Monday morning.
Wow.
And Monday is a holiday in St. Vincent. So they fly me back to St. Vincent Monday afternoon, after school, to go to perform in St. Vincent Monday night on a holiday in St. Vincent, and fly me back to school Tuesday morning.
They knew what they wanted. Wow.
Well, you know, and then I used to go to St. Croix. I'd go to St. Croix to perform. And we'd land in St. Croix, and this guy would charter a plane from St. Lucia to fly me to St. Croix. And we'd land there, and a whole lot of people at the airport. And it never occurred to me that I was the cause of all of this.
Wow.
Because I was just coming to play music.
Right.
And at the time, now my management is all American, so I understand the business a lot better.
Right.
But at the time, you know, a little island boy, you're happy to go anywhere and play music, man.
Yeah. So walk us through that, though, because you eventually, with Tru-Tones, performed at the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
What was that like?
Well, that was a cultural shock for me. You know, at the time I was writing a lot of songs that were considered great, and MCA Universal had picked up some of my stuff, so I got some of my music on One Life to Live, and then I got signed to CBS. But CBS was interested in the songs I was writing, so my name was already in America.
Right.
And I was recording with West Indies Records out of Barbados, West Indies Records Limited. But they had an ongoing marketing deal with Warner Brothers.
Right.
So my music got into America. So my name was in America. And then Superbowl XIII, they wanted a Caribbean halftime show.
Nice.
And I was booked as part of that show with the Tru-Tones.
So let me ask you though, there was a time when you stepped away from your career and you said you wanted to do something with the folk, the indigenous music of St. Lucia. How did you go about preparing for that?
What happened was that there was an era when the young people in St. Lucia just disconnected from what is indigenous, our indigenous music. And I thought, what could I do to preserve it?
Right.
So what I did, I got in touch with one of our really consummate composers, Charles Cadet, who's passed.
Yes. The late Charles.
And Charles wrote a lot of great St Lucian folk music. You know?
Yes.
Melodically, you'd be shocked at what he would write as St Lucian folk music. So I sat with him. I said, "Listen, Charles, I want to do this project with just St Lucian folk music." And he got very excited about it. You know?
Right.
And what I did was I made a lot of it very contemporary. And I used a lot of contemporary sounds, top 40 sounds. I went and listened to all the top 40 stuff at the time.
Yes.
And listened to the sounds that were being used.
Yes.
Because I know that's what our young people connected to. And I used these sounds and I redid a whole album, a whole CD of just St. Lucian folk music. And I brought down a friend of mine called Roger Eckers, who's a professor of music. Roger is this all-white guy with blue eyes, you know. And we were doing a song called I Do, boom, boom, boom.
Hey.
And it's a very soothing and lethargic.
Yeah.
So I flew Roger down from the States because I wanted a flute on that song. And Roger came down and we were in the studio and he put down this really bluesy thing on that song. And the tears started rolling down his eyes.
Wow.
This is an all-white guy. This is Roger, my white friend, my white boy.
Yeah.
Who's playing the flute on a St. Lucian folk song.
Touch him.
And the chest grew. And I said, "Roger, what happened, man?" I was shocked. He says, "Man, bro, I don't know how this can be St. Lucian music. This is very sophisticated."
Yeah.
Where did this come from? And he was just blown away at what I was giving him to play on. That was St. Lucian folk.
That's what you're known for, though. It's fusing, and that is what then connects the dots for people, no matter where they're from.
Absolutely, because I don't want to get on stage to do a festival outside of the Caribbean.
Right.
And I'm there with a whole lot of American musicians doing smooth jazz.
Yes.
And I'm doing smooth jazz, and I'm sounding like everybody else.
Exactly.
So I always infuse this Caribbean something in the percussion, the rhythm section.
Yes.
That makes me sound a little different.
Yeah.
What the St. Lucia Jazz Festival did for me, it gave me a stature that I probably would not have gotten so quickly. Because I played with George Benson, I played with Earl Klugh, I was on stage with George Duke, I was on stage with Earl Klugh, I was on stage with who again? Just about even Steven Seagal, man.
Nice.
You know?
Nice.
And I'll tell you what, getting on stage with these names can be very intimidating.
Yes.
But because these guys are so encouraging, you just relax.
Yes.
I mean, the first time I'd finished, I did an opening concert for George, right? So I was leaving because I had to go to Sandals to do another gig. And the security caught me at the gate, came running, "Hey, Boo, they want you to come back." So I said, "Why?" "I don't know, they asked you to come backstage." I went backstage. And she said to me, "Listen, George Benson wants you to come play a song with him, man."
You can't say no, Boo.
Who says no to that?
Honestly.
Who says no to that? But I tell you what, my heart jumped.
Sandals will wait.
my heart dropped to my knees. Man.
I know. That's a moment.
I said, "What?" Anyway, man, so I went and stood by the engineer because that's where you can really hear the sound well.
Right.
And I'm listening to George on stage there, and in the middle of the concert, this is George Benson.
Yes.
The George Benson.
The George Benson.
He says, "Is Boo in the audience? Come on stage."
Jeez.
And man, listen, I got so nervous, man.
Yes.
And there was an amp there for me and everything set up, man. And he welcomed me on stage, man. We did it, and you know, it just went on really, really well, man. And since then, we've kept in touch, man. He's a wonderful guy. Wonderful.
Brilliant. That's the thing I need to know. Is talent really all that important if you're going to be a musician for the long term?
Absolutely. If you're going to, for the long term, and to get to that level, you need to have some talent. But equally important is that you must be committed, and you must understand what it takes to get there. You have to practice and practice, because nothing can replace that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You just got to be committed to this thing. You have to be very disciplined, and it must be a life's passion.
And it is a business, right?
And it's a business. And if you don't know the business, surround yourself with people who know it. Otherwise, you probably will generate a lot of money and never get it.
Right, right.
The music that people gravitate to says everything about the social and psychological dynamic of the people in that era.
Right.
So these guys who do the Denry segment recognize a void and they fill it.
Yeah.
And
it continues to evolve.
And continues to evolve.
And doing very well in Caribbean carnivals.
Not just Caribbean, man, all over, man.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah, it's in,
about 2 years ago,
in the mainstream now.
2 years ago, a friend of mine sent me a clip of a New Year's Eve party in Switzerland. And literally, I think there must have been about 2,000 people there. And they were playing Split in the Middle.
Love it.
And I checked this song on YouTube. This guy has 15 million views.
That's Freezy.
15 million views, man.
Yeah.
And so this is not something we can ignore. So we as a country must rally behind it and help the guys to evolve.
Boo, it's always a pleasure to speak with you, and I want to wish you continued success. Thanks for representing St. Lucia so well.
Thanks, man.
And we wish you more top hits.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for talking to me, Richard.
It's our pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
It's our musical royalty. Ronald Boo Hinkson, St. Lucian.